David and Annie's relationship journey, 90-day fiancé. Love doesn't always follow a straight road, sometimes, it takes a few unexpected turns before finding its destination. For David Toborowsky and Annie Suwan from 90-Day Fiancé, that road began halfway across the world and turned into one of the franchise's most inspiring love stories. Their journey started in the heart of Thailand, a place filled with bright colors, warm smiles, and ancient traditions. David, at that time, was recovering from one of the most difficult chapters of his life. He had gone through a painful divorce, lost his home, and was struggling financially. Hoping to find peace and start over, he traveled to Thailand with a friend, never imagining that this trip would change his life forever. It was in a karaoke bar in Bangkok that fate introduced him to Annie Suwan. She was vibrant, confident, and full of laughter, the kind of person whose energy could light up any room. David was immediately drawn to her charm and warmth. Annie, on the other hand, saw in David a kind heart and genuine affection, though she knew his situation wasn't perfect. What began as casual conversation soon grew into something deeper, a connection that neither of them could ignore. However, love stories don't come without their challenges. When David decided to propose to Annie, reality hit hard. The cultural expectations in Thailand meant that he would need to provide a dowry, or, sin sod, to her family, a symbol of respect and commitment. But David didn't have the money. His financial struggles were no secret, and even friends questioned whether he was ready to take on such responsibility. Still, Annie stood by his side. Eventually, David found a way, with the help of his close friend Chris, who offered to sponsor them. Even though that sponsorship later created its own share of drama, it was enough to allow the couple to move forward. Annie accepted David's proposal, and the two began their 90-day journey to marriage in the United States. But once Annie arrived in America, life wasn't as glamorous as she might have imagined. They didn't have a house of their own. Instead, they stayed with Chris and his wife, Nikki, in Kentucky. Annie quickly realized that life in America wasn't always easy, especially when you're starting from scratch. The couple had little money, and tensions grew as they tried to adjust to their new environment. Fans of 90-Day Fiancé remember those moments vividly, the cultural clashes, the financial struggles, and the heated arguments. Yet through it all, David and Annie's humor and love for one another managed to shine through. Where some couples on the show fell apart under pressure, David and Annie found ways to laugh, adapt, and keep moving forward. David, determined to rebuild his life, started taking small jobs, teaching English, and doing whatever he could to provide for Annie. Meanwhile, Annie used her cooking skills to make delicious Thai meals, something that later became a key part of their success story. Their journey after the original 90-Day Fiancé season turned out to be even more interesting. They appeared on several spin-offs, including 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, and 90-Day Fiancé, Pillow Talk. Viewers quickly grew to love their fun, playful chemistry. Unlike some couples who thrived on drama, David and Annie offered humor and warmth. They became a reminder that love could survive, and even thrive, in the face of hardship. Over time, their lives changed dramatically. David went back to school, earning a master's degree and later becoming a teacher. Annie, always full of creative energy, launched her own Thai cooking classes online and in person, sharing her culture and passion with fans. Together, they even started a clothing and lifestyle brand, expanding their influence beyond television. Their social media presence grew, too, not because of controversy but because of authenticity. Whether they were joking around on Pillow Talk or posting cooking videos on Instagram, David and Annie radiated a genuine bond that fans found refreshing. But perhaps the most beautiful part of their journey isn't their fame or success, it's how much they've grown as individuals and as a couple. When we first met them, David was a man trying to rebuild his life, and Annie was a young woman navigating a completely new world. Over the years, they've learned to communicate, to laugh in difficult moments, and to find gratitude in the little things. They've also faced deeply personal challenges together. From financial struggles to health scares, they've shown what resilience looks like in real life. Their openness about the ups and downs of marriage, especially a cross-cultural one, has made them role models for many fans. What makes their story stand out is that it's not built on perfection, it's built on perseverance. David often says that Annie saved his life, not just by loving him, but by inspiring him to be better. And Annie, in turn, has found in David not only a husband but a best friend who respects and cherishes her. In one of their interviews, Annie once said, "We don't have everything, but we have each other." That line sums up their journey perfectly. From humble beginnings in Thailand to building a happy life together in Arizona, David and Annie have proven that love, when nurtured with patience and understanding, can overcome any obstacle. Today, they continue to travel, cook, and share their adventures with the world, all while keeping the same playful energy that made fans fall in love with them in the first place. They're not just reality TV stars anymore, they're living proof that love stories can grow stronger with time. David and Annie's journey reminds us that every relationship is a work in progress, a story constantly being written. Theirs began in a karaoke bar thousands of miles away and has evolved into a partnership rooted in laughter, loyalty, and faith. Through thick and thin, they've shown that the truest kind of love isn't about wealth or status, it's about finding someone who sees your worth, even when the world doesn't.